Today we also have with us Francoise Barbara Friedman. She's a founder and director of Birthlight. She is PhD from Cambridge and she is still active in medical anthropologist at the University of Cambridge, where she holds an affiliated lectureship. While working as a senior yoga teacher and yoga therapist specialized in the area of reproductive health for women and their families, she initiated a prenatal yoga module for yoga therapy diploma course created by Dr. Robin Monroe at the Yoga Biomedical Trust, London in 1995, followed by postnatal yoga and well-woman yoga. She has pioneered a style of yoga accessible to all women, irrespective of their level of fitness and background, with a focus on prevention and integrated maternity care. Birthlight, a UK-registered charity, originated in experimental Cambridge-based classes with the aim to enhance well-being during the prenatal continuum from conception to year 3. For this purpose, she pioneered equinatal yoga, baby yoga, and a yoga-based approach to water parenting. Birthlight is an acclaimed international training provider with an extensive network of trainers, teachers, and members, including health professionals as well as yoga teachers and therapists. She has authored 10 books on yoga and contributes to Yoga General. She is a long-standing member of International MERS Society of Prenatal Mental Health and the Society of Psychomatic Obstetrics, Gynecology and Andrology, the Journal of the Pre- and Postnatal Psychology and Health Association, among others. Besides speaking at international conferences, she convened Birthlight conferences at Cambridge, London.
Barbara ji, we welcome you. You are audible and visible both. Waiting for your message.
Thank you, Vikramji, and I want to thank all my teachers in my journey of yoga and parenting. And in this talk, I would like to take you home. Our children, we say, are our most precious gifts. We long for them and we say we love them. We emphatically love them. Out of this love, we as parents want them to be well and to do well. From the moment we place a photo of one of those prenatal scans in our wallets, parenting takes center stage in our lives. So we want to be good parents and spare our offspring the suffering that our parents inflicted on us inevitably. They made mistakes, that's for sure, our parents and our grandparents, and perhaps we still have not fully forgiven them yet, and we lay blame at their door for their shortcomings. In this short talk about conscious parenting, I would like to remind you that the quality of our love for our children rests on self-referral, and that this has intergenerational implications that extend way back in the past and way forward into the future. We have less children than last century, and we have them later in life. Due to both male and female infertility decline worldwide, the journey of conception and birth is more hazardous than it used to be even a few decades ago. As part of the evolution of consciousness on our planet, the focus of parenting and particularly fathering has also shifted from discipline and rules to creating real connections with our children and, most importantly, raising our consciousness as parents. The shift to non-violence, ahimsa, is not without turmoil, and sadly, many children in the world grow unloved and experience unspeakable traumas. But the trend to greater awareness of children as sovereign beings that we as parents are given the privilege to care for and bring up in partnership is unquestionable. United consciousness truly starts at home. Ideally, when a soul draws near in the mysterious process of incarnation. There is increasing research evidence that what we call consciousness is there long before fetal brains are fully formed. And imprints can be memorized as we currently understand it. Months before birth, prenates thrive with their mother's benevolent thoughts, as Sue Gerhardt explains in her popular science bestseller, Why Love Matters. Anxiety and depression, the mental ills that now affect 1 in 5 pregnant women and new mothers, and also fathers, have simultaneously been shown to have detrimental long-term consequences for children. In an ideal world, all pregnant women and fathers-to-be too would be kept free of stress to concentrate on the important task of nurturing this new soul. While strolling in fairy tale rose gardens is rarely possible, a few minutes of meditation each day can create an equally beautiful inner space. One of the thought bubbles that often surfaces during pregnancy is self-doubt, and the emotion hiding behind it is fear. That it will not work out, that there is not enough of this or not enough of that. An instant practical response from yoga is the voice breathing Hamsa to re-establish balance and perspective. And only 1 minute is enough to make a change at a time. And the effect is cumulative. The more often this is done, the more extensive the outcome. So let's practice this in not even 1 minute. Hamsa. And then you can also practice the shush breath to send away any negative thinking. So shh, and then hamsa, hamsa, in acceptance. At the same time, Ganesha Mudra can bring us the strength and resolve as the elephant Ganesha shows us it has. Just this simple practice can make a great difference in bringing us to ourselves and raise our consciousness. Self-judgment, which may go back to childhood memories, vanishes in the strong present focus of this simple yoga. Childbirth, whatever form it takes, is one of the greatest calls in life for new parents to grow and expand their consciousness. Frantically seeking information about babies on the internet and in books is rarely satisfying. While every stage of parenthood brings its unique spiritual and emotional challenge, babies in their early weeks and months are our parents' best teachers. Can we both lucidly and humbly shift the problem from the baby to ourselves, parents? Not you rather than me, not you the father or you the mother rather than me, with the new awareness that a crying baby has innocent needs that we must learn to better decipher. Where do the frustration or even the rage that drives the most rational of parents to their wits' ends come from? The answer may come later, when learned calmness becomes like a mirror that reflects deep and regulated emotions in our inner childhood. But in the present moment, yoga can offer self-calm, followed by instant relaxation. Here is a tiny practice that can help get rid of tension and move right from a sympathetic mode, nervous system mode of flight and fright, to an autonomic response of restoring, refreshing self-calm. So I will share this practice with you because yoga is practice. So what we do is 10 breaths of Bhastrika followed by a long exhalation. So let's go. And the little kumbhaka at the end of the exhalation brings release and brings a new breath taken without strain. When we react emotionally, we hold our breath. The breath, as the bridge to our consciousness, responds to practice. And doing this several times a day is cumulative. We can, after doing it, placing one hand or both on our heart to mark a new readiness now after a pause and reset. So we can think of reset buttons of parenting with yoga. As adult parents, by creating the emotional self-regulation that our parents may have failed to give us because for some reason they could not do so, and we can't blame them for that, we heal our inner infant selves. And we walk our talk when we say we love our children. Mindfulness paves the way, but ultimately parenting is a spiritual discipline, a sadhana. Just as we roll out our yoga mat every day, our children call us to undo our prejudice, our expectations, and the ego we project on them on a day-to-day basis. Their illnesses call for deeper, more unconditional love. Their problems may in fact very well be ours. Self-referral, growing in self-awareness, helps us raise our consciousness as parents to best help our children to be what they have come into the world to be. There is no perfection. As we let go of the need to control, we can engage our presence just that little bit better. The sooner we start, the better. Babies' sweet little tantrums are easier to face than teenage crises. Eckhart Tolle has said, becoming a conscious parent is the greatest gift you can give our child. And also the prophet Hilbrand told us that our children are not ours. They are not our possessions. This is easier said than done. True to yoga, we even have to let go of the attachment to become a conscious parent in order to turn into one. The principles of yoga and those of conscious parenting are one and the same. The expression Brahman Bhavati Sarati, a Vedic saying that suggests that God, or one's higher self, is the charioteer of our life, finds an echo in all world religions. Yet, as First Nations people in the world remind us, we come from nature and we are deeply connected to its rhythms, its silence and simplicity. The bliss of parenting rooted in each of our small daily actions of self-surrender, when we find the eye of the storm rather than becoming the storm. It's definitely harder than caning and shouting, but evolution is irresistibly unfolding towards parenting consciousness. Let's cease to try pushing the river and thank our children for leading us into the flow. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Francis J. It touched my heart when you said that united consciousness starts at home. And what can be the better way to start the feeling of united consciousness from the next generation? And you mentioned about that. You mentioned a couple of books also to read about why love matters. And one fact that you mentioned really is a matter of concern for whole world, that 1/5 of the world expecting mothers are feeling anxiety and depression. And if we want to create a better world, we need to start from the beginning. And you said that when this anxiety and depression is there in the would be mothers, it converts that fear becomes self doubt and feeling of I'm not good enough, things are not enough, things may not work out. And you also taught us some practical tips. You mentioned about Hamsa, Sush breath, Ganesh Mudra, and you also mentioned about the Bastrika Pranayama, how to keep yourself calm. And you also gave a message that make your babies your teachers. They really teach you many things indeed. And you also quoted that our children are not our possessions. So we may be connected with them, but at the same time remain detached as they have their own journey of their life. So I have a small question that I received recently. If you permit me, can I ask you?
Yes, sure.
So this Hamsa, this method, what you suggested is, so what does that Hamsa literally means? Or from where has it come?
Well, it's a bit like Purnamida Purnamidam in a simpler way. It means I take the breath, the world is full of bliss. I surrender the breath, the world is full of bliss. This is how I understand it. I don't necessarily explain to people the meaning, but as they do it, they discover it.
I know, I understand. One more question that came here is, listening to you, it feels that we should have heard you 10 years back when we conceived. But now it is 10 years later we are listening to you. So, what do you suggest? My kid is 9 years old.
Listen, watch, self-refer. I have a 7-year-old granddaughter, and I am also retraining myself as a grandmother. I missed a few boats as a parent, probably lots of boats. And I'm catching them again as a grandmother, plus with the added challenge of surrendering to my daughter's mode of parenting. So there is a double challenge and a double surrender here and a double learning, which I gratefully receive as a grandmother. I think grandparents have a great role to play in the world, and their consciousness is even more important as expanding because they impact 2 generations.
So nicely said. And I hope that all the grandparents who are listening hear this talk, they must be feeling more motivated that they have a lot of contribution to make this world more beautiful. Thank you very much, Francois Ji, for always blessing us with your presence and your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vikrant.
On behalf
And
of
you-
United Conscious, on
Yes,
behalf
yes.
of United Conscious.
You're saying something.
No, I said thank you, and may United Consciousness grow as well.
Thank you for your blessings. We'll try our level best. Thank you.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Ms. Francois Barbara Friedman for coming on to the platform of United Consciousness. Thank you so much.